In this video, we're going over 2 recent trades that I did for some really special key issue comics for a bunch of bulk comics. Now, this makes absolutely no sense to do this if you're just a casual collector, but as a dealer, it makes financial sense for me to offer trades like this. So the way it works, the 2 books we're talking about today is Famous Funnies #1, the first monthly newsstand comic book from the 1930s. I had it listed for $5,600 cash or $6,600 in trade. And so we're gonna go over the books that we sealed the deal for $6,600 in trade. And sometimes it's just easier for me to sell, lower value stuff that's more attainable, more affordable, more available to more people versus selling the one big key for thousands of dollars. Now, I would always prefer to just sell the big key for fair market value, or even a little bit less than fair market value, than do the trade, because the trade, even though there's more trade value, there's a ton more work that goes into it. There's shipping both ways, there's looking up values, there's listing, packing, promoting, you name it. There's a lot of time that goes into it. So I would always prefer to just sell it outright, but in most cases, or in a lot of cases, it makes a lot of sense to do a trade. The second book that we're doing is Fantastic Four number 52 in a 9.4 with white pages, one of the top graded examples of the first appearance of Black Panther. And this trade was absolutely amazing. I got to meet somebody that I've been going back and forth with on social media for a long time, Harvey from Chloe's Comic Swag. Link down in the description to Harvey's Instagram. You guys should be following him over there. He's a totally trustworthy dude. If you're interested in doing a trade with him, I can definitely vouch for him. And he made the trip down to trade a massive amount of books for the Fantastic Four. I had it listed for $16,000 cash or $19,000 in trade. And so we made the deal. It's a little over 300 slabs to make up that $19,000 in value. We don't have enough time to go through all the books today, but we're gonna go through about 4 boxes of them. So most of the books that you're gonna see today are actually up on the website, at least for the second part of the trade for the Fantastic Four. The Famous Funny trade, a lot of those books have come and gone already, but the rest of them are gonna go to Whatnot. And this Friday, if you're watching this the day it comes out, we're having a massive slab show on Whatnot. $1 starts on hundreds of slabs, 20 CGC slab giveaways. We're bringing back the wheel, so every purchase you make is your chance to win a Grail. It's gonna be Amazing Spider-Man number 50 in a 6.0. You can come by, spend nothing, potentially win giveaways. If you win 2 of the giveaways, you get to spin the wheel for your chance at either $150 store credit or the Amazing Spider-Man 50. It's happened in the past where some people have shown up, bought nothing, and walked away with massive prizes. So hopefully that'll happen again, and I hope to see you there. Link down in the description for $15 towards your first purchase on Whatnot. If you're new to Whatnot and you use my link, there'll be books in the Buy It Now for 15 bucks. I'll have my Miles Morales exclusive variant in there, so you can come by, pick up a free book, have a chance at a ton of free books. It's gonna be a bunch of fun, and I hope to see you there. With that said, I wanna introduce you guys to Harvey, and then we'll start taking a look at all of these awesome books. All right, so I'm here with Harvey. Harvey made the trip down. Thanks for coming to the shop, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it's nice to finally meet you in person. We've gone back and forth a bunch of times on Instagram, which, if you guys aren't on Instagram, so we were just talking about this, you really got to check out the Instagram community for comics. It takes the collecting experience to the next level. I mean, wouldn't you say it's worthwhile to be on Instagram for the community aspect of this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you get on, like I was telling Bri here, like I didn't know anything about Instagram as far as like the comic community, but once I got, injected into that whole rabbit hole of Instagram, yeah. I found out that there was like, people like yourself, that know all about books, and it's not just for seeing what everybody else has, but more like the knowledge that people pass on. So.
Right, and it opens up a whole new doorway of opportunities to make deals, make trades, find books that you don't necessarily see all the time on eBay or auction houses. You can avoid fees sometimes.
Big time.
And facilitate trades. And so I wanted to bring Harvey on to plug his Instagram channel, Chloe's Comic Swag. I'll put a link down in the description as well. He's always down to make a trade, and you might want to check out his page. He's got some really awesome books, some really special, cool books. So make sure to go give him a follow. And he made the trip out today to trade all of these books right here and that one down there on the floor for this bad boy right here, consolidating all of these books into that. I'll put it up on the screen. Fantastic Four 52, 9.4 white pages, first appearance of the Black Panther. Super tough to find in 9.4. I think there's, what, a dozen or so?
I think so.
Yeah, about a dozen, maybe even less than 9.4 or higher. Consolidating all of this goodness, which some of this will go to the website, some's going to be brought to Whatnot, into one book. So talk a little bit about that. What was your thought process on consolidating?
Well, I mean, you know, I've done a trade with you before, and when this book popped up, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hit Bri up and see if he's down to trade. And he's one of the most trustworthy people that, you know, I've come across. So I don't really do trades with just anybody. With your presence on Instagram and then just testimonials from other people, other collectors, importantly, you know, giving you like kudos and thumbs up. So, you know, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. And what I did was I contacted him and to see if he would facilitate this type of trade, and yeah, he was down for it. So
yeah, for sure. So, you know, we were also talking a little bit off camera here about the concept of catch and release. You know, that sometimes, you know, in this hobby, a big part of the fun is hunting down these cool covers, finding these cool covers, enjoying them for sometimes decades. And then I think this is you know, an interesting way to close the chapter on all of these books, is consolidate it all into one mega grail. And then you get a video like this, you kind of commemorate, remember the whole process. And you know, a lot of the fun in collecting is the process, you know. And so
absolutely,
yeah, so
absolutely,
it's kind of a cool way to end a chapter and upgrade into a big grail. But anyways, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for coming to the shop. Enjoy that beauty right there. I will join your elite club soon and get a high grade copy to be right there with you.
I'm taking yours. So.
Yeah, first Black Panther. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right. Starting out with Marvel graphic novel number 4 in a 9.6 white pages, origin and first appearance of the New Mutants. I've always loved this book. It comes in this big magazine case because it's a magazine size book. Batman Damned number 1 signature series, signed by Lee Bermejo in a 9.8. Batman Damned number 2 in a 9.9. This is the variant cover by Jim Lee. Batman Damned number 1, Jim Lee variant cover in a Gem Mint 10. Awesome books. Now we're going to go through the signature series, and there is quite a stack of signature series. Here's Deadpool Corps number 1, signed by Rob Liefeld in a 9.8. Barbed Wire number 1, a really interesting book. I've never seen this one before. Adam Hughes cover, signed by Adam Hughes, and this is the Audacity variant. We have Star Wars Legacy number 2, first appearance of Delia and a whole bunch of others, signed by Adam Hughes cover. Joker Year of the Villain number 1, signed by John Carpenter. Supergirl number 2, this is the Art Germ variant cover, signed by Stanley Art Germ Lau. Amazing Spider-Man number 800, signed and sketched by Lucio Perillo. The really cool custom sketch right there on the front cover. Awesome collectible there. Web of Venom Carnage Born number 1, signed by Donnie Cates, and this is the Virgin edition. Spawn number 250 and a 9.8. This is the Jock variant cover, signed by Todd McFarlane. Harley Quinn number 7, signed by Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Aunt Lucia. The DC Bombshell variant cover. Really awesome book right there. Deathstroke versus Batman. This is Deathstroke number 30, signed, and Live Rock by Francesco Mattina on the variant cover. Thanos number 17. I think there's some key significance about this, something to do with Silver Surfer. I can't remember. We'll throw it up on the screen if we can find it. Signed by Donnie Cates Domino number 1. This is the J. Scott Campbell edition D, signed by J. Scott Campbell. Kill or Be Killed number 6, Walking Dead number 1 homage, signed by Robert Kirkman. Spawn Director's Cut number 1. This is the Encore edition, or the second print, gold foil embossed, signed by Todd McFarlane with the full Todd signature. The 25th anniversary edition. It's an Ultimate Spider-Man number 1 from 2000 cover homage. Really cool Spawn book. I've never seen that one before. Hillbilly number 1, signed by Eric Powell. This is the San Diego Comic-Con edition. Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 11, signed by J. Scott Campbell. This is the J. Scott Campbell edition D. Deadpool number 5, signed by Nick Klein. This is a Deadpool Legacy number 305 and a Garbage Pail Kids Trading Cards homage cover. Batman The Return number 1, signed by David Finch. G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 249, signed by Natalie Sanders. This is the Comic Market Street Virgin edition from the Emerald City Comic Con 2018 exclusive. Moon Knight number 6, the variant edition, signed by David Finch. Venomverse number 1, signed by Francesco Mattina. This is the Virgin Convention edition, signed, and he likes to write Live Rock on there as well. This is from New York Comic Con 2017. Secret Empire number 10, signed by Gabriel Del Otto. This is the Unknown Comics Virgin edition. Really cool. Anything Del Otto's got my full attention. Vampirella Volume 4 number 11, signed by Lucio Perillo. This is Scott's Collectibles Comic Mint edition, a Virgin cover. Continuing with the signature series, Justice League number 1, signed and sketched by Clayton Crane. This is the Crane variant cover B. It's a Brave and the Bold 28 cover homage, which is really cool. I'd never seen this one before. This one has this custom sketch here, Batman's bust up there at the top by Clayton Crane. And I just wanted to show, this is the variant cover C. So there's less of the heroes tied up in Starro there versus this one, homaging Brave and the Bold 28. Just so awesome to see that, especially with the custom sketch on this one. Then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 1, signed by John Romita, and this is Legacy number 802, and this is the John Romita variant cover. So this must have been like a hidden gem incentive or something like that for Amazing Spider-Man number 1 from 2018. Avengers number 7, signed by Clayton Crane. It's this Clayton Crane cover, and I think there was some spec about this one as well. I'll put up on the screen if we can find it. Venom number 161, signed by Lucio Perillo. Action Comics number 1000, the Del Otto cover, signed by Del Otto, and it says 29 of 50 on there, so he must have signed 50 copies of this book. Action Comics 1000, signed by Jim Lee, is the Jim Lee variant cover. X-Men number 164, newsstand edition, signed by Chris Claremont. First appearance of Carol Danvers as Binary. One of my favorite George Perez covers, Thanos Legacy number 1. This is the 1 in 100 Perez Hidden Gem incentive cover, signed by Jim Starlin and George Perez. This is an awesome collectible right there. Batman number 21, signed by Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder. First appearance of Duke Thomas is the variant cover. Return of Wolverine number 1. So this is the Inhyuk Lee Ultimate Edition. So this is where I first learned about this little process here from CBCS. And so what they would do is they verified the entire print run and graded 250 copies. So this is copy 44 out of 250. So that's where I got the idea to do that for some of my store exclusives with CGC. CBCS calls it the Ultimate Edition, and they put this little note here that says the entire print run was verified by CBCS and was reduced to 250 9.8 graded copies. The accepted industry practice of complementary overprint did take place. So it's really interesting that they put that on the labels, that industry standard and accepted practice is for people that worked on the book to get complimentary copies of the book. And so what they're saying here is that there were copies that were printed above and beyond the 250 that were graded. And what's interesting about that is when I checked with Marvel, they were kind of like clueless to that practice. So this was back in 2018. So I think they may have gotten away from that a little bit with Marvel, where they don't just automatically print copies for artists and creators on the creative team. Nonetheless, this is one of the coolest covers for Return of Wolverine, with the glowing blades and the In-Hyuk Lee cover. It's limited to 250 plus the overprint, graded copies for CBCS. I mean, just a really awesome book that I've never seen before. Spider-Geddon number 0. This is the New York Comic Con 2018 exclusive variant. Witness signature by Jamal Campbell and a sketch right here. Really, really awesome homage to one of the greatest Spidey covers of all times. Amazing Spider-Man number 800. This is the Mike Mayhew Ultimate Edition. So this one is serial number 101 of 300. So they graded 300 copies of this, and it says the same thing, the accepted industry practice of overprint. It has a $9.99 price tag on this one. Really cool to see that. I've never seen that one before. Spider-Man number 1, signed by Jim Chung, 9.8. This is the first meeting of Miles Morales and Peter Parker. That's it for the signature series, so we'll move on to some of the highlights for the Blue Label stuff. We're not going to do all of it because there's just way too many. Avengers number 1 Stan Lee edition. You got Stan Lee here surrounded by all the heroes. I love, 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 love this cover by J. Scott Campbell. I mean, it's got Hugh Hefner vibes. It's so freaking awesome. If this was signed by Stan Lee, that'd definitely be a keeper for me. Dark Horse presents 5th anniversary special. This is the first Sin City by Frank Miller and the first appearance of Marv. And it's a wraparound cover by Frank Miller. I had never seen this before, so I wanted to, you know, look more into it and see what kind of value that has. Miss Marvel number 2 in a 9.8. Anytime you get a book from the 70s in a 9.8 white pages, it's worth admiring. And this is the origin of Miss Marvel. And there's some really cool covers for this early Miss Marvel run from the 70s. Moon Knight number 21, 1982, Bill Sienkiewicz cover in a 9.8 white pages. Excalibur special edition, no number. 1987, 9.8. I thought I'd look it up and see what it's worth. Gideon Falls number 1, variant cover F, the Virgin cover. Jeff Lemire story. God Country number 1. We got the second print in 9.8. This is the variant that I believe was only available through some kind of box. I'll have to put up on the screen if I can find which variant this is. God Country number 1, first print. So this is a Donny Cates story that's been optioned. I think it's like coming. I haven't heard any updates on that in a while. Ghost Rider number 1, just a really cool cover for that from 2006. Guardians of the Galaxy number 2. This is the variant edition of the first appearance of the Dark Guardians. Return of Wolverine number 1. This is the McNiven Virgin Edition H, the yellow costume cover. It's a high ratio incentive, and there's a whole bunch of different versions of this as incentives. You also have the second printing error edition here. This is the error edition that was manufactured with 2 pages replaced from Dr. Aphra number 25. So a cool recalled error edition. Return of Wolverine number 1. This is the glow-in-the-dark variant, and it's manufactured with the number on the cover, which is really cool. I don't know how they're able to even pull this off, but it says number 1,631 of 2000. Animosity number 1, first appearance of Jesse and Sandor. Web of Spider-Man 36, first appearance of Tombstone in a 9.4. Avengers 273 in a 9.8. Venom First Host number 1. This is the race variant cover. Venom Verse number 1. This is the Clayton Crane Ultimate Edition. So this was serial numbered and limited to 250. And again, it still says the same thing. The industry practice of complimentary overprint did take place. And this is from 2017. So I think back then it was happening more often. Uncanny X-Men 158, 9.8 white pages. This is the first appearance of Rogue in title, and an awesome cover here by Dave Cockrum. Avenging Spider-Man number 9, first Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel, which predates Captain Marvel number 1 from 2012. Amazing Spider-Man 793, not every day you see Spidey with guns. I mean, look at this cover by Ryan Stegman. It's the variant edition, really, really cool. Amazing Spider-Man 263 in a 9.8 with white pages. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 19, a John Romita cover that I am absolutely in love with. First appearance of Alistair Smythe. Just a really cool one that's going to be on my hunt list for 9.8. I mean, I'm sure I can find one, but I like to just wait and see if I can snag a screaming deal. It makes me enjoy owning it that much more. I don't know if anybody else is in that same boat. Alpha Flight number 17 in a 9.8, and Avengers 684. This is the second print where Hulk becomes Immortal Hulk. Silver Surfer Black number 5. This is the variant edition by Ron Lim. Weapon H number 1, the variant edition by Scan. Weapon X number 11. This is the Del Auto Ultimate Edition. So it's Gabriel Del Auto. It's number 84 out of 250, and it's the same thing. Industry practice, overprint, all that on this one. Hench Girl. I absolutely love this series. This is written, illustrated, and produced by Kristen Gudsnuck. It's been optioned. I mean, she put out her own money to write, create, draw, and produce this thing. She published it on her own first, and then it got picked up, and it's the first appearance of Hench Girl. And I just think that that is such an accomplishment in just today's day and age, to be able to do all of those things on her own. So cool book right there. House of X number 1. This is the premiere edition that has like a color fade. Star Wars Dark Empire 2 number 2. This is the gold foil edition. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi number 1, first appearance of Ulick and some others. Uncanny X-Men number 194, 9.8 white pages. And Transformers number 5, this awesome Mark Bright cover. It says the Transformers are all dead. Detective Comics number 1000. This is the Ji-Hyung Lee Virgin edition, the first appearance of Arkham Knight and DC Universe continuity. Just an awesome Harley cover right there. Here's Action 1000. So cover by Felipe Massafera, limited to 250 graded copies by CBCS. Harvey and Ivy Love on the Lam, no number, with a Joe Chiodo cover. I put this in here because I wanted to look more into it. You know, I'd never seen it, and I don't know what kind of value that has, from 2001. Here's Batgirl number 1 from 2000. And Catwoman 52. This is the Adam Hughes cover. Marvel Premiere number 57 in a 9.6. This is the first Marvel comic featuring Doctor Who. New Mutants number 19. Bill Sienkiewicz cover, 9.8 white pages. And another Bill Sienkiewicz for New Mutants. This is number 22. New X-Men number 31, first appearance of Kimura from 2006, and I just really liked this cover. Once Our Land number 1, I believe this is optioned as well. Preacher number 1 in a 9.4, first full appearance of Jesse Custer, Tulip Cassidy, and Saint of Killers. Dark Knight Metal number 1, and this is the Francesco Mattina Ultimate Edition, limited to 250. Wonder Woman number 240 in a 9.8 white pages. Legion of Superheroes 298 in a 9.8 white. Again, this is just me appreciating 1970s, 1980s 9.8 white page copies of books, because I see how they come through raw in collections all the time, and the fact that they retained the 9.8 is exceptional. Sandman number 5 in a 9.8. Batgirl Special number 1 with a Mike Mignola cover from 1988 in a 9.8. Batman 567, the first appearance of Batgirl Cassandra Cain in a 9.8. Daring New Adventures of Supergirl number 1 in the 9.8. Batman number 183 in an old CBCS case. This book looks really, really nice. It's a 9.0. It's the second appearance of Poison Ivy. 12-cent Batman from 1966. And I definitely might have to crack this sucker out. Yeah, I'm definitely going to crack this out. It looks super, super clean. Flash number 111 in a 5.5, second appearance of Kid Flash. Batman number 700, this is the variant cover by Mike Mignola. Batman Cacophony number 3, the variant cover by Bill Sienkiewicz. Really, really cool cover. I'm a huge Bill Sienkiewicz fan. Stars and Stripe number 0, the first appearance of Star Spangled Kid Courtney Whitmore. And Legends number 3, the first appearance of the new Suicide Squad in a 9.8 white. Batman Gotham by Gaslight, no number, from 1989 and 9.8. I had just never seen this before, Mike Mignola cover, so I wanted to look at the value on that. Ex Machina number 1, first appearance of the Great Machine in a 9.8. The only other time I had this in the shop, it was a 6.0. Masters of the Universe 9.6, old label CGC. Rick and Morty Krombopolis Michael number 1 from Oni Press 2018, ASM 129 cover homage, and this is the Vasquez variant cover. Monstrous number 1 in a 9.8. Magnus Robot Fighter number 1, origin and first appearance of Magnus, Legia, and 1A, first appearance of the Aliens, painted cover and back cover pinup by Russ Manning, story cover and art. Just a really cool, there's a virgin edition of the front on the back. That's awesome. From 1963 Gold Key. Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom number 1 from 1962, origin and first appearance of Dr. Solar, first original Gold Key character. Painted cover, back cover pinup by Richard Powers. So they're really into the painted covers and a virgin edition on the back. Must be before they were able to sell ads on their comics. Fantastic Four number 55, classic Silver Surfer cover in an 8.0. Iron Fist number 1 from 1975, first Iron Fist in his own title and the first time Iron Man meets Iron Fist in a 9.4. Incredible Hulk 307, really, really cool cover by Mike Mignola and Steve Lealoha. American Vampire number 1, the variant cover by Jim Lee. Incredible Hulk 105 and a 4.0. Immortal Hulk number 2, the Alex Ross cover, first appearance of Dr. Fry. Iron Fist number 1. This is the Ultimate Edition, CBCS 9.8, limited to 250, Gabriel Del Otto. I had never seen this before. This is up there with one of my favorite Gabriel Del Otto covers. Really, really cool art on this one. Invincible number 13. Infinity Wars Weapon Hex number 1, variant edition. This is the design variant. Absolute Carnage number 1, the premiere edition. This where it's a color fade, partial sketch, I guess. G.I. Joe number 1 from 2009. There's 3 different covers for this issue. The reason I set this aside is it's a Del Otto wraparound cover, which is really, really cool, from 2009. Black Panther number 2, this is the variant edition, legacy number 174. So this first stack of books is a whole stack here of signature series, and then we have another stack of blue label books that I did for Famous Funnies number 1. And this, I believe, was a fantastic trade for this collector. All of these books are common. I mean, they're relatively common compared to that Famous Funnies. I think the Famous Funnies has something around 40 total copies on the CGC census, and it's the first monthly newsstand comic. So I think anytime you have a chance, you know, to trade into a book like that for common books, for that rare book, is just a slam dunk of a trade. So let's take a look at this here. We have Conan the Barbarian number 1, signed by Roy Thomas, origin and first appearance of Conan. Green Lantern number 87, the first appearance of John Stewart and the second appearance of Guy Garner, 6.5, signed by Neil Adams. Green Lantern 85 and a 9.4, signed by Neil Adams. Green Lantern 76 in a 5.0 white pages signed by Neil Adams. Crisis on Infinite Earths number 1 in a 9.6 white pages. All of these Crisis of Infinite Earths are signed by Marv Wolfman with the George Perez custom label. Awesome little combination there. So we have issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, issue 6, issue 7, issue 8. I'm sorry, we skip issue 8 and go to issue 9. For some reason it was missing issue 8. Issue 10, issue 11, and issue 12. All signed by Marv Wolfman. Really cool to see. Almost a complete run there. New Teen Titans number 1 at 8.5, signed by Marv Wolfman, newsstand edition. DC Comics Presents number 26 in an 8.0 white pages, signed by Marv Wolfman, newsstand. And New Teen Titans number 2, 8.5, signed by Marv Wolfman as well. Alright, for the next stack of books here, we have House of Secrets number 92 and a 5.5, first appearance of the Swamp Thing. My Greatest Adventures number 80 and a 5.5. This was a really cool book. Origin and first appearance of Doom Patrol. I just love the cover on this one as well. Doom Patrol number 100, Origin of Beast Boy in a 5.5 white pages. ASM number 28, Origin and first appearance of the Molten Man. Really tough book to get in high grade because of the all black cover. Really cool, highly collectible book. I would love to have a copy of this in high grade just because of how hard it is to find those in high grade. Spectre number 1, first Spectre in his own title. New Gods number 1, first appearance of Orion, and a whole bunch more in a 6.5 white pages. Batman Vengeance of Bane number 1, 9.8, origin first appearance of Bane. And War of the Realms New Agents of Atlas number 1, third print in a 9.8. I love this book. I think it's a fantastic spec for the first appearance of so many characters, and this one is super, super rare. Less than 2,000 total copies ordered by retailers. So a really rare version. If it had a better cover, it would be an absolute grail. I mean, it's got a good cover, but it's not like the best cover for the War of the Realms New Agents of Atlas number 1. But nonetheless, I think at today's prices, around 200 bucks, I think this is a decent pickup, and there's 3 copies of this. So the total for all of these books came to about $6,400, $1,000 more than what I consider the FMV of that famous Funnies at $5,400. So that's it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me all the way to the end. Don't forget, we have that massive Whatnot show this Friday. If you're watching this the day it comes out, link down in the description for $15 towards your first purchase. I'll have stuff in the Buy It Now for 15 bucks. Come by, get a free book, have a chance at winning a mini grail and a bunch of other prizes. Follow me over on Instagram for trades for grails and other fresh content over there, and we always have that monthly giveaway here on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, comment, and like, you're entered to win a free slab each and every month. And if you sign up for the newsletter at brycecomics.com, you'll get first access to new collections as they come through the shop, and you're entered to win a free slab each and every month over there as well. Thank you as always for sticking with me to the end of the video. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.